Page 4, Beautiful Heaven. I'm not going to say those other words. I don't know what the... You can pronounce those other words. No sharps or flats. This is in the key of C major. So again, you need to be doing the scale for C major, and while you're at it, do the scale for A minor, because that also has no sharps or flats. And in my opinion, when you reach this level, you should be doing them 2 octaves up and down. You should already know the scales. That's all. That should be a given. You should know these scales. Of course, if you don't know the scales, then you're behind and you got to learn them. So in that case, you just go 1 octave up and down and learn the scale first. But if you can, do 2 octaves up and down. I explained it all in the scale videos. Go watch those on those. 3/4 time with a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 3. Let's take the right hand first. Make sure we got everything worked out. We got some rhythm going on and triplets and things, and I have some fingering suggestions. At the beginning, you're here. According to the notes, here and here. So you look at the first few notes and see where the hand goes on the finger, and that's where you're not going to stay there, but that's where you're starting. So it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Get the idea. And the last 2 measures. So the second line, you have a triplet. Well, start with the second measure of the second line. You're down here. You move down during the rest. You're here. And now you're here, triplet. 1 and a 2. So that's 1, 2. Like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And those notes, 1 and a 2, 1, and that's tied for 2 measures. And you get this triplet again in the next line. Same thing. Last line, your first measure is with 4th finger, and then the 5th finger. This puts you in position for what's coming. And then reach up 3rd finger, 1 and 2 and 3. This is common fingering. You need to get good at this, and eventually you want to get to where you don't have to look at the keyboard to do it. You got to look at first, but eventually get to 3. The idea is we want to end up with 5th finger on the C, and right now the 5th finger's on the D, so we got to come down. So we got to skip a finger. So we're just going to skip the 2nd finger and use 3rd finger here. This way we're in position to repeat back up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Just go over it slowly until you get the idea. Here with no hesitation. Then the second ending, you're 3 and then 1 again. I don't like that, but we're kind of stuck with it. Because we're up here at the top of page 5. Now, top of page 5. The melody's the top note in the right. 2, 3, here. I would like to connect those notes with the fingers. They've got you use. If you have real small hands, you may not have a choice. You have to do here. But if you can reach a 4th here, if you can reach an octave, you can probably reach a 4th. If you can do that, then use 4th finger. So it's here, connected, and 3rd, and then here. The thumb's playing. That's okay. That's harmonies. But I want to connect the melody. 1, 2, 3. Here. Going on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. That's good fingering. I like that. Don't use 3rd finger on that, please. 4th finger. You need to be able to use 5 and 4 with a note apart. You need to get accustomed to that. Even with little hands, I encourage you to do that. It's important. And then go on. 1, 2. Then thumb. 4 again. Then at the bottom, 4th finger. If you can do the scales 2 octaves up and down, this 4th finger thing, you have to do that anyway, so that's good. The first ending, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So forth. Left hand's just broken chords. So forth. Now a lot going on in the left hand. Let's go to the top of page 5. Here's here again. Now you got to move up. They want you to go here, here. I like that. I like the 4th finger on those. Put the hands together, slowly. Yours slowly. I'm going to go my slowly, which might be a little faster than yours slowly. Well, whatever. idea, I hope. Go down to the bottom. Last line on page 4, it's here. This quarter note in the first ending, lift up when you play the F sharp. You repeat back up. Second ending, again, lift up when you play the A. The left hand's just a quarter note. Go on, page 5. Get the idea, I hope. It's nothing really too tricky in here. If you can get the triplet down and you get these rests, you got to play the rests. Now we can add the articulation. I don't care for their articulation. I want to talk about it. I mean, this is an arrangement, but when you're first learning it, you learn to play it the way it's written first, and then you can go rearrange it if you want. Right now, connect that. In the left hand, I just chuck chuck, chuck chuck. I'm connecting the first two notes all the way through. Third line, lift up. Now on the articulate, for the left hand, I like to usually go chuck chuck. That doesn't always work. Sometimes it's better to separate them all. You have to experiment. In this piece, in most cases, it's actually better to separate them all. Sometimes I want to connect it, and sometimes I don't, and that's okay too. You can do both, depending on the situation. If the right hand's, I tend to want to do the left hand the same. So as far as first learning it, I'm going to suggest go ahead and separate the left hand. After you get to know it and you get into it and you start really interpreting it, you can adjust that left hand articulation. If experiment a little with connecting, sometimes or not or whatever, it's up to you. But the left hand at the top of page 5, look out. The first couple, then they want you to go up. That's what's written. That's what they wanted. That's fine. Except I prefer to do it the opposite. I'm going to do this, connect it. So I turn it around because I want to connect notes that are next to each other. That's what I typically do, but you have to decide what you like to hear. So far, it's up to you on what you want to hear. The way it's written, it's this way. So forth. So you have to experiment with the articulation, see what you like. In the second line here, I like to do a little staccato on that quarter note in the third measure. Here. So get these slurs like they're written in the third line. So starting with the last note of the second line because it's a pickup, it's here. And sometimes, like on these endings, I play that staccato, that chord staccato. Don't have to. And there's nothing written, so it's up to me and how I choose to interpret it. If I want a staccato there, I can do it. And the second ending at the bottom is just accents there. Just give them a little extra and separate them. You have to separate the left hand anyway, so go ahead and do the same with the right. Then dynamics, well, let's do the right hand, the right in the melody. Moderately loud, whatever. Keep this left hand in the background. so forth. You're not going to stay exactly moderately loud. You're going to get louder and softer once you get to know the music and you get into it and start feeling it. So you can get up a little. You're staying in that area. At top of page 5, you go up to loud. That's loud. Everything else is soft. Come down a little bit at the end of the 3rd line to moderately loud. Come back up. Crescendo up. Same thing at the bottom of page 4, you crescendo up. And you've been moderately loud there, so what you can do at the beginning of the crescendo is come down to soft and go back up. That gives you more room. It exaggerates the crescendo if you start softer and go up to loud. Because there's not a lot of difference between medium loud and loud. So if you start soft and go up to loud, it's a bigger one. So it's, so forth. Then you end it loud at the second ending there at the bottom of page 5. It's and the accents then make it very loud. Then once you have that, we add the speed. Allegro moderato, to me, that's like an allegretto. It's a fun speed. It's between moderate and fast, sort of fast, moderately fast, whatever. About where I've been going, I think.